a new movement for you to try. So you're gonna need a cheap gripper. I have the better ones. These are for building your finger strength. A 100 and a 200 pound. This one goes from 20 to 90. I have it set to 20 pounds right now. Put it on the lowest setting. Start out, just to try it out. So normally you close your gripper like this. You put it in the meat part of your hand, your palm, and you close the gripper. I like these ones because since they bow out, your pinky can get more work, or your top finger can get more work. So it actually helps out more for what I'm trying to accomplish. You have to be strong with this bit arm position. So how this is going to help is you can throw in top roll training with finger flexion. So make sure it's at this part of your hand, not in the meat part. Put it in the padding, what do you call that? Where you get calluses. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I have this over pronation, side pressure. It enables me to bend my wrist down. See how my wrist is bent down? And squeeze while I'm able to top roll. So I'm throwing one more element in. Because to be a good top roller, or even a good hooker for that matter, you have to have strong fingers, finger pressure. And the finger pressure isn't going to come from here, because I think it was on Derek Smith's channel. He talks about if your hand goes back, that's how most people grip things stronger. So for instance, if I'm using the 200 pound gripper, if I'm here, well, it could either be here or here, but if I'm here, my hand will naturally go backwards when I try to close the gripper. Not all the way back, because you lose some tension, but you have more finger pressure from your fingers back, from your hand back, from your wrist back, like this. You have more finger pressure than you do here, especially all the way down. From here, slightly less, and the more you go down, the less you have. So with this type of handle gripper, you can combine the bicep. It doesn't have to be top roll. Move your bicep like this. The more I face it, the more it'll be on my bicep, and I'm gonna want to squeeze my fingers down and curl my wrist while I'm doing a bicep curl in, like I'm simulating a hook. You can start from the starting position and turn in. And the limits of this are pretty much limitless. I can have one band on my bicep here, one band on my supinator. So this is supination. The inside pressure to turn your opponent inside, versus top roll, it's the opposite. I've gone over this in some of my other videos, but for anyone who this is the first video they've seen of mine, the top roll looks something like this. A hook can look like a bunch of different ways, but a hook will mostly be palm facing you, driving backwards, or driving to the pad, or once you get into a comfortable position, getting your hand behind your shoulder and pushing. But you still need that supination to get there properly. So I can have one over supination, one band over my bicep, supination, one band over my bicep, which is also subsequently on my wrist too, because if I'm here, I'm bending, my wrist is active, but as I turn in, It's on supination and it's on 1, 2, 3, 4 muscles, depending on, and then it could even be 5 if you throw in some shoulder rotation. So, but now we're gonna add in one more, finger pressure, because usually we're lacking this on these. That's why I would recommend using a weak band, because when you throw all these things together, but notice when I go down, I'm bending my wrist down and pushing my fingers at the same time. And my forearm didn't really like that right now. It didn't pop, but it felt a weird and basically what I've noticed is if you're doing some kind of movement you haven't done in a while, whether it be triceps, biceps, and you get to a hard area or you hold it or you try to do something, you might feel a little pop. It's not a dangerous pop, because if it was, you would feel it and it would hurt, but it's just letting you know that you don't train that in that specific area too much. So one more time, I'm going to go over it. Rotation, bicep, and back, and wrist. So I'm on 2 right now. I'm on rotation and bicep. So I'm using bicep, wrist, back pressure for my back, my lats, supination, and then fingers. But remember, grab it like this and put it on a low intensity so that you're still able to initiate all those movements at once. And this is more for a hook, and this would be more for a top roll. But you would have to switch instead of it being on your supinator, put it on your pronation. Multi-directional. And I'll tell you right now, just from showing that demonstration, my fucking forearm is on fire. So I'm actually using forearm flexors, fingers, supination, bicep, and lats. Depending on what angle, if I'm facing the device, is different than if I'm towards the device.